So it's all good in the hood. Welcome back to the show, everyone. Shimmy Cash here. Thought I'd start off this episode here giving a little video tour of the condo there, my two-bedroom place there in Pattaya. It's currently rented, though that could change at any time or whatever because people tend to, go in and out of leases and stuff like that. But I'll start the video off like this. I've been saying for many years that I think the West is going down. I'm not sure if the future of the West, meaning America mostly, and I'm happy that I have this little place and another one like it away in Asia to more or less run or flee to when the shit hits the fan. I'm not sure how many years are left before they have another pandemic or crisis or war or, famine, drought, economy, whatever goes wrong in this country here, America I'm speaking of. I'm not sure how long before they flush the toilet again, right? I've said on many shows before that in my lifetime, I think I've purchased like 6 or 7 houses or whatever in the States, right? You buy one, you sell one, you lose one, you this. Throughout the whole course of my lifespan, right? I don't like paying rent, so I've always pretty much been a homeowner. And, that's just what I do, man, because just paying rent is throwing money. It's like one of the foolish things you could do with your life, actually, to, negate your own progress, right? So I've always just started out small and went up from there in my own place or whatever, right? So anyway, yeah, Pattaya, Thailand, and a few other places I have in mind are pretty much where I see my future, more or less kind of like setting roots at, because it's so difficult in America to save money, to get ahead. And I just find the place like it just isn't a very safe place to reside in. It's just far too violent. Far too crazy, far too chaotic. There's just too many ways to lose the game. It's like being in Area 88, for those of you that watch my channel. It's definitely a war zone in many parts of the States, From coast to coast, you're not free from California to Florida. It's like the economy and the states and people are going through desperate times. There's just too much ripping and running going on. Too many people are ripping people off, defrauding people, robbing people. I just don't like what I see this country becoming. I mean, it's always been pretty bad, but it's got exponentially worse in the last 2 or 3 years. It's really been going downhill, right? So at the end of the day, and as I become an old gray-haired man that dyes his gray hairs or whatever, I don't want to live somewhere that's all just fucked up and crime-ridden and dirty. I'm going to run the block this morning and I'm picking up, I see, in addition to, nails and bolts and shit I pick up to not run stuff over in my car or bike or whatever. I mean, there's like bullet casings and shit on the curb and needles and all kinds of just fucked up shit I don't like to see when I'm running around the block at 5, 6 in the morning, right? But, those are the streets out here. It's not like this in other parts of the world. And I don't think that people realize how bad of a crisis or situation that America is in certain parts. Now, granted, you all might say, well, that's because you live in the ghetto. Not necessarily. A lot of this social problems and stuff, they spread far and wide, coming soon to a suburb near you. Just because, I should say, disadvantaged or lesser fortunate people don't live in your zip code doesn't mean they can't easily transport themselves there, so it is what it is, man. But like, I've had enough of this shit. It's like I get to the point in life where I'm used to a certain standard of living after living, substandardly for a very long time. And I'm like, you know what? I deserve to have the same creature comfort as many of you who listen to this show. Most of you listening to my show, you get to sleep in a bed at night. You get to sleep in air conditioned, climate control, a clean, safe building or facility, free of worry, stuff like that. I don't necessarily have that all the time. I've been doing the hustle, I've been living in and out of office spaces. I've worked a janitor job, for Christ's sakes, at some points. I even donated and sold blood at some point when I come back into the country to get back on my feet, right? A lot of shit you guys don't know about that goes into the whole mix of me doing this thing, making movies and running the website and stuff like that. When you work for yourself, you just more or less are up against the wall and you have to pick and choose your battles of which sacrifices you're going to make. And a lot of times the decisions I make are far too uncomfortable for the average person to stomach or swallow or whatever. So I could just pretty much tell you that, the world of business isn't cut out for most of you or whatever. But I will say this in my defense, since I have taken those risks and accepted that challenge or whatever, then I'm not doing it for no reason. I'm going to get rewarded. I'm leaving this hellhole behind, right? I'm not putting up with this shit for too much longer. Why? Because I worked hard for my pot of gold on the other side of the rainbow, where I intend to enjoy it, you know. I don't like living under the scrutiny and the yoke of America, where I'm basically considered genetic subhuman trash. You know, I feel like dogs actually have a higher social status value than I do. You know, I think in this country, the tier of order of operation goes from white people, dogs, black people, other minorities, and so forth. But the top two positions are reserved for white people and dogs. Absolutely. So, you know, it is what it is, man. It is what it is. What a country to live in.